Hello, this is your editor, Christian Evans. Ample research conducted by the team at Attendance Works has found that the best and most effective solution in limiting the effects of chronic absenteeism is building personal relationships with chronically absent students. Personal relationships and a belief that time spent in school is an investment in your future are critical in getting students to return to the classroom. All the actions that can be taken to solve chronic absenteeism rely on the building of personal relationships and the reestablishment of school as an important priority for students. So, without further ado, here are some actions that can be taken to solve the truancy crisis here in our Utah community. For educators and teachers, always take role to let students know that you notice that they are missing. This can help them feel seen. Also, creating a classroom environment that makes students feel welcome is incredibly important. You can also work with other educators inside of the building to develop a uniform system of attendance enforcement and incentives. Educators should also educate parents with young children on the increased effects chronic absenteeism has in early schooling. Attendance Works has found that missing more than 10% of school in preschool and kindergarten greatly impacts a student's future abilities. As for administrators and principals, the most important role that you can play in the fight to decrease chronic absenteeism is accumulating accurate data on the attendance of the student body and then using this data to make informed decisions and plans for the school's future. You may also hire firms or outside groups that can do in-person visits with children. These firms can develop that personal relationship with the children in hopes of bringing them back to school. For individuals in the local community, you can ensure that your local school district is maintaining accurate chronic absenteeism data by calling them and asking to see this data. Local businesses, if you work for a local business or own a local business, you can work to provide incentives to students who maintain good attendance. You as an individual can also build public awareness about the chronic absenteeism crisis that our state currently faces. Places of worship and faith can also encourage students to maintain good attendance in class and can provide volunteers to do in-person visits in the local community. Families can hold their children accountable and instill values of education being of the utmost importance. And as for legislature and policymakers, the one most important piece of legislation that the Utah legislation can pass immediately is a centralized database that collects all of the chronic absenteeism data from every single district in a uniform manner and groups it into one database. Policymakers and the State Board of Education and school administrators can then use this data to develop plans that best suit their schools. I had the wonderful opportunity to sit down with Garrett Russell, who is the Utah State Board of Education attendance specialist. Mr. Russell said that two things that he's learned in his time as the state attendance specialist is that punitive practices like taking parents and children to court does not work, and that a centralized database that would collect all of the data across the state would greatly help fighting the battle against chronic absenteeism. Thank you for your time. There we go. Got it.